Clones were the backbone of the Republic military. However, whilst fighting in the war, countless will have been maimed and injured to various severities during carrying out their duty. But what happened to these clones after the fighting had stopped? Well, firstly, we need to remember during battles, at least the ones where we see, there's limited medical staff on site. After all, the purpose of the clones was to win battles. For this reason, clones who fell in combat, if there was no medical staff in the immediate vicinity, would have to fend for themselves. The mission on many occasions came before the preservation of life. However, for this video, we're going to be looking at after the fighting had ended, when there'd be a series of clones who had sustained injuries. Now, of course, these levels of injury are going to be very different. Some may just be a bit beaten up by blaster fire. Remember, the clone's armor, especially the Mark II, was pretty effective, and a direct hit on most occasions didn't mean death. These clones could likely be treated there and then, either on the battlefield or at a barracks by a resident medic, and after a few days would probably be back in action. However, there would also be many more whose damage was far more severe. Head traumas and lost and damaged limbs, etc., these clones would need far more advanced medical procedures, and it's for this reason why the Republic invested so heavily in things such as medical frigates and medical facilities for their troops. They would be evacuated to the nearest medical facility and put into the care of droids and more advanced medical experts, often overseen by the Kaminoans themselves. Now, you may be thinking that it's a good thing that the Republic cared so much about their troops. After all, they brought them into the world, so it made sense that they should be responsible for their well-being. And although this may have been the drive for many senators and politicians, the brutally honest truth was that it was cheaper than the alternatives, than replacing them. It took years to have a clone ready for combat, and even then it wasn't battle tested. The simple fact of the matter was, keeping a clone alive via the use of prosthetics and other medical procedures, which was relatively standardized and a lot cheaper in the Star Wars universe, was ultimately a lot cheaper than training a completely new clone who may just die on his first mission anyway. It's important to remember that battle experience was something that even the Kaminoans couldn't give to their clones, so it was actually quite a valuable commodity. It's important to also remember, although some Jedi such as Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan and Plo Koon did go back for many of their clones, to many it was just simple economics. Now, you may be thinking, well, what about the clones that the advanced medical equipment of the Star Wars universe couldn't save? Say they suffered head or body trauma so severe and so fatal that they were on the cusp of life, and that they would never be able to be used to serve the Republic again in any real useful way. Well, most of the times, these clones wouldn't receive prioritized treatment, so they'd probably pass away from their wounds. But those who did, according to legends anyway, were somewhat recycled. The clones' organs and body parts could still be used by the Kaminoans to help aid those clones not close to death. And since every soldier in the army was an exact replica, it kind of made sense to use the clones the best they could if they could save another one's life. Ultimately, the Republic did take relatively good care of their clones, be it for an emotional or practical use. But what do you think of the Republic's pretty compassionate way of looking after their troops, and do you think it was right of them to recycle the ones who were near to death? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, please remember to like, share and sub as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also don't forget to follow me on Twitter @TheLoreGuy and tick the bell to get regular updates on when I'm uploading. But most importantly, thanks again for watching, I really do hope that you enjoyed this little video and learned something new, and I'll see you next time.